Hello, I'm Barrie Rose, and in this podcast, I talk to content creators and advocates in the progressive space, ultimately making the world a better place. Today, I'm talking to Sandra Jennings, and we get into topics such as LGBTQ allyship, body positivity, and he gives this incredible speech at the end where he talks about male vulnerability, and it's incredible. So, better stay tuned for that. Enjoy. Hi, Sander.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. So, thank you for joining me today. I know you as well. You're Jewish. I'm half Jewish. You're an LGBTQ plus ally. You're a promoter of body positivity. Can you tell us more about who you are and a little bit about your work as an influencer?
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm a social media influencer. It all kind of got started from being on my family's reality TV show. I Am Jazz on TLC, where my family just actively supported my sister Jazz, who is transgender. In 2019, 2020, a few years after the show started, I realized that I had a really powerful voice as a brother of a trans person and just as a human being in general. And so I decided I wanted to be an influencer to use my voice to try to spread positivity, encourage people to support and love everyone for who they are. And 4 years later, somewhat, I've grown over 1.4 million followers across platforms, kind of just using my voice to try to effectuate positive change.
Yes. So you started making content after the show?
Yeah, so like when the show first started, it was kind of my role is to be a brother to Jazz, a brother to my twin brother, a brother to my older sister. And, it was an opportunity for our family to share a story and try to, help people realize that it's important to accept and love trans people. But it was never something where I was like, oh, I'm trying to build an audience or grow a following. My family actually doesn't really like being in the limelight per se. We love helping others. And so in the beginning, it was all about amplifying Jazz's story. And over time, I realized that I could also continue sharing Jazz's story while also using my voice to build my own brand and help others. Because my number one goal in life is to help others. And I realized that social media and being an influencer could be a huge way to do that.
Yeah, it definitely is uh, a huge way to do that because you reach so many people. So, Jazz is a super inspiring person. I've seen a lot of her content as well. What is a way you've learned that you can be an ally for her besides just being a good sibling?
Yeah, so I think allyship takes so many different forms. A lot of people don't understand that, you don't have to do allyship one way or another. It's about doing a ton of different things, such as one, just being supportive of an LGBTQ plus friend, family, or neighbor. Two, one way that I do it is being an active advocate, advocating and amplifying the stories of LGBTQ plus people. But then there's people like my twin brother who behind the scenes has done pro bono law cases for the LGBTQ plus community. So you can do advocacy behind closed doors. Then it's also just listening. I think a huge thing that you can do for anyone in your life to be an ally to them is listen, because by listening you can learn how to best support them, love them, and then be a better ally in other ways as well.
Ah, yeah, I love that. And your family is so cute. I did see a video where yeah, your brother's doing the pro bono law work. It just seems like everyone in the family is doing something different, but having a supportive, cohesive role in the whole thing. And I just saw this dance video where you were like doing, uh, you were like in front of a pool marching with the family. It was cute.
Yeah, I help lead a lot of those videos every time, once a year, for I think 4 years now. We get together around the holiday time, and the family gives me about 2 hours. I produce the videos beforehand, and we go ahead and create, you know, content together as a family. And as part of that, we've tried to mix in a little bit more advocacy. Sometimes it's just dancing, but overall, it's just a good way. And it's probably the number one time out of the year that one, the whole family wants to fight each other and rip each other's heads off all in one, but at the same time we're all laughing and having fun because it's that type of 2 hour period. It's something I think we all look forward to every single year. But that's what you're alluding to there. But in terms of just the entire family, every single person in our family loves helping people, and we all have our own different jobs and experiences that we're kind of in different lifestyles now. But at the end of the day, we all come together to just support and love each other. And in some ways, that includes, advocating and helping the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, it's so great that it seems like one of your core values is just helping people and giving back.
It's the only thing I know about myself, truly. Like,
Oh.
if I, in life, I know that my number one goal is to help others. Like, yes, it's always important to make a career. It's important to build a family. It's important to have different balances in life. But for me, I want to make sure that through every single thing that I'm doing, I'm either helping my loved one or I'm helping a follower. I'm just helping someone through each and every experience that I have in life.
Did you discover that yourself, or did your parents say that is something you should always do, or did you just figure that out on your own?
Yeah, so I have like a lot of different, like, the moment I became an influencer, I feel like wasn't I ended up at an influencer conference in Vegas by accident with the first startup that I was working for in marketing, and some at the same time there was an influencer conference, and I went up to people, and a lot of them, they were talking about like products and brands, and I was like, but what is influence to you? That's influence, but to me, like, influence is like helping people. um, so I've had different moments in time that affect a lot of parts of my life, but for the specific question, in terms of the moment that I realized that I want to help others in life, was in college. Um, we were writing down core values in a business class, and like, they had people going from one side to the room to the other side of the room, kind of like trying to share what they do and don't know about themselves. And for me, the one thing like that I circled on that piece of paper was like, I know that I want to help people through whatever I do. And if it's not helping people, then like, why am I doing it?
Mm. Yeah, that's so powerful because there's always going to be space to help people, whether you do it in a big way or you just show up for a friend.
Yeah, it's that as well. But I think the thing that I'm also learning about helping people is and especially in today's divisive world that we're in, to some people, what I believe is helping, other people think is the worst thing in the world. Like, people think supporting trans people is terrible, right? That's an example. People
Yes.
think that saying being body positive, which one thing to kind of clarify, body positivity is not saying, hey, eat whatever you want, never move, be super late, do nothing. But for me, body positivity is like encouraging people to love their body and recognizing that there's a difference between like loving your body and activity. So for some people, they think body positivity, I'm hurting people, which is something that I've learned more recently, is that like, to some people what I'm doing is hurting people more than it's helping people. But I know that I feel like it's helping people. And from the messages I receive, I know it's helping a lot of people.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be people that perceive things in a negative way, but there's an overwhelmingly positive um, there's more positive than negative. And there will always be those people that don't get it, but maybe those just aren't your people. But I do love the body positivity because we all have bodies, and I feel like we all have a relationship with our body, whether you and that can look like so many different things because you can be like really skinny, for instance, but still not have a positive relationship with your body or still have a lot of self-talk that is not helping you. So, anyway, how did you get into creating content about body positivity and like breaking down social constructs?
Yeah, so definitely breaking down stigmas and social constructs is a huge part of, my belief and my brand. And with body positivity specifically, during COVID, a lot of people were stuck indoors, and I was starting to become more of an influencer. It was about probably a year in, and I started making workout videos from home. And a lot of people really were saying how these workouts were helping them. And through those workouts, I realized, hey, in some ways I was spreading some misinformation about like how you can target body fat, and I learned from that. And through educating myself while creating these videos, um, I just started to develop like a really strong relationship with my body, and started to realize that, hey, my goal isn't to lose weight or have a six pack. I just love my body, and my goal is to be healthy. I also think in my experiences with Jazz, Jazz has struggled with binge eating disorder. And in the past, the way that I tried to support her wasn't always the most constructive and wasn't always the most positive. And in working with Jazz and in talking with Jazz, I was able to learn how to help Jazz, you know, overcome some of her struggles, and inherently help myself overcome my own struggles, and just develop a strong relationship with my body, and in distinguishing the difference between having health goals and loving your body, because they're not always one and the same. And a lot of people look at a body and say, hey, you must be healthy. Look, you have a six pack. Yet inside,
Mm.
mentally and physically, they might be struggling immensely, or maybe they're not even eating food. Everyone has their own
Mm.
struggles, and everyone um, has their own things that they're going through, their own demons. But my idea behind body positivity is just, hey, love your body and create your own goals, because we're on our own paths. We're each on our own paths.
Yes, that's so true. We are each on our own paths. Yeah, I I think about this a lot because I did have an eating disorder like years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and I used to obsess about things. And even though I had such a extreme degree of control and I was like very, very skinny, it wasn't ever enough, and it wasn't really making me happy. It was ultimately just like a way of controlling my life. And now now I every time I eat, for instance, I'm like, thank you for nourishing me in the best possible way. And every time I work out, which I work out a lot because it helps me mentally, and it makes me feel strong and makes me feel good. Every time I work out, I say, thank you, body, for allowing me to work out. And it seems kind of cheesy or something, but I feel like these messages that you're giving yourself are being received on a cellular level, and it's all connected.
Yeah, 100%. No, I love that. And thanks for sharing. That I 100% agree. Like for me, actually, one thing I tell myself is, if I get a workout in, which I do something active usually every single day, then no matter how bad my day is, no matter what happened, at least I did one thing to connect my body to do something better for myself. And so I totally can relate to what you just shared. It's so important.
Yes, yes, it's like doing one thing that's kind of hard. It does set you up in a great way, and it is like you accomplished something valuable. What do you do to exercise or stay active?
Yeah. So uh, a lot of people don't, when I say on my social media a lot like that I work out 5 times a week, and then I show that I still have body fat, and a lot of people don't believe me. But in high school, I was a three-sport athlete year round. I got 14 varsity letters. In college, I actually had a torn ACL heading in, and I slowed down a little bit. But then once I got into working out, I think freshman sophomore year of college, I've basically worked out or played a sport, pretty much every single week, at least 5 times. So it's tennis on Wednesdays. I have a tennis match later tonight. This morning I hit a workout at my girlfriend's gym. Tomorrow I'll probably hit another workout, and then Friday or Saturday I'll probably play basketball and probably do some sort of cardio. So I'm constantly mixing up my workouts based on my, like you shared, mental health. It's not really for, like, it is for the physical health. Like I like being strong. I like, you know, sometimes having like goals for how much muscle I want to have it. But at the end of the day, it's really for the mental health. Staying active is for the mental health, and I also just love going on walks because that's good for the mental health too. So it's a ton of different things, but it's a lot of combination of sports, hit training, and circuit training.
Hmm. That's great. Yeah, you kind of get everything. So, what would you say to someone who is struggling with loving themselves or loving their body? What's like one thing you could do to help transform that for yourself?
Well, I think loving your body is different for everyone and how someone can get to that stage of loving your body. But I think it really does come down to that cellular level that you're describing. It's important to love your body because your body is what allows you to move every single day. It's what allows you to live, love, laugh. Laughing is a part of your body. Reach out, put your hand in front of yourself. Look, there's your hand. That's a part of your body. And so reminding yourself that, hey, your body is the life form that allows you to live, I think is the first step towards loving your body and loving yourself. And then you might look, oh no, I don't like some parts of myself. And if that's the case, then it's important to set your own goals, not based on societal standards or expectations, but your own goals for yourself on how maybe you can improve that. And to do that, it's with setting small goals first and not reaching for the stars right away. So, for example, let's say you do want to gain some muscle, then maybe make a goal of going to the gym once a week and then jump into twice a week. Then include a walk in there so that you can try to lean down the muscle. There's different things that you can do, and it all starts with just putting one foot in front of the other every single day and recognizing that movement looks different for everyone and goals look different for everyone.
Yes, that is so true. And you, yeah, you can't really compare what you're doing to someone else. For instance, I've been strength training with Lorenzo. They basically made like a strength training plan for us, but our bodies are different in that they have like a lot of shoulder, arm strength, so they like definitely surpass me in like the amount of weight they can lift, but I can't compare what I'm doing to what they do. And what's really helping is just to focus on progress within what I'm doing. Like I can lift a little bit heavier today than yesterday. And feeling physically strong with strength training, I feel like it's helping with mental clarity as well. And I've never strength trained before.
It all goes together. I've done all these workouts for a long time, but I haven't really done strength training since high school. And I actually am doing strength training right now too. And it's just like, I'm actually excited to go do the workouts now versus, at times I'm just like, I've been doing this for so many years. Like, what is the point of going to a workout today? So that's another example of like, okay, what's the step to get there? Find ways to enjoy what you're doing and find that next goal,
Yeah.
next step, next thing you could do. And this is for the people who are just getting started. It's also for the macho
Mm-hmm.
man that might be watching this video that's like, wow, I've reached this pinnacle, and like, where do I go from here? Okay, maybe find a sport that you love so you can like implement it in different ways so you can refine that joy if you're struggling. I've had people of all different backgrounds, all different body shapes and sizes come to me like, how do you find the intrinsic motivation? And I'm just like, well, put your own spin on everything. Put your own spin, make your own goals, and push towards those. Um, that's what it's all about.
Thank you for that all that. That was really inspiring. And you are very motivational just in the way you speak. It's inherent to you. You have kind of like a passion, motivating energy. Do you have any do you have any current goals?
I mean, so I definitely have some goals in terms of continuing to spread the same positive messages across my social media, trying to figure out different content types and styles on my personal social media. I'm hoping to work with, you know, more brands in these spaces that believe in these messages of spreading positivity and joy and want to work with the creator such as myself. I'm also getting more involved in like civic advocacy and trying to break down more societal standards and barriers. It's definitely a learning curve and it takes a lot of time and progress. And then I'm also focused on some of my business goals because on top of being a social media content creator, I'm also a digital marketer and I work with different startups, nonprofits, and businesses. Uh, so I'm trying to get myself in front of the camera to start talking more about what I do on my day to day when I'm not being a social media influencer. And even in my business work, every single thing I do is working with clients to try to help them empower their own communities. That helps them. So, like I said, it all comes back to helping people. So I want to help more people. Is the short answer, and what I shared is the long answer.
Yes. Yeah, what other causes are you interested in advocacy? I know like reproductive rights was one of them.
Yeah, so reproductive rights, and I think reproductive rights fits in this um, box of like issues that men don't talk about, right? Men don't really talk about reproductive rights, except, and that shouldn't be the case. More men need to be talking about reproductive rights because it's affecting your girlfriend, your mom, your sister, just like how I started being an ally to the LGBTQ plus community because it affects my sister and it affects my friends. And more people need to be talking about LGBTQ plus rights because your friends and family are being affected, especially within the trans community right now with what's happening and the ideologies that are being spread. And then for reproductive rights, it's the same thing. I also the other day posted a video about therapy and healthcare, and I think the healthcare industry is, it's messed up. I've been struggling to find a new therapist because I don't. I had to change my insurance when I was 26. My new therapist wasn't covered anymore by the insurance because I've been actually talking to my therapist friends. They were explaining how hard it is for them to work with these insurance companies and how little they get paid less when they work with insurance companies. And I'm like, that's creates an unequal system. It creates a problem where mental health isn't even be able to put first. And mental health is another topic that a lot of men aren't talking about that I talk about. So like just like topics that are taboo, body positivity is another one that is taboo. Like people comment on my post and say, wow, like you must have a bunch of estrogen and you're not a real man because you're speaking about body positivity. And so that's how I know that what I'm talking about is good, because I'm trying to encourage more men and anyone to just like start speaking about these issues, not just the communities that are being affected.
Yes. Yeah, it is definitely so necessary for people, just people like just men to be talking about these things in general. And breaking down the societal constructs. I feel like men are always affected by those things, but for some reason it is harder for men as a whole to be vulnerable about certain issues. But I'm so glad you are using your voice and your platforms for that as well.
Yeah, and so in terms of like the power of influence, when a man sees, let's say, a transgender person talking about trans rights, they might not listen as much. But when they see another man who identifies as cisgender who is speaking to them, trying to say, hey, get involved, try to support the trans community, they might be more open to listening. And so that's why one of my main goals, I would say, this year is to try to get more men talking about issues that maybe don't necessarily directly affect them, but that are affecting a lot of their loved ones. And if more men start speaking out about issues such as reproductive rights, LGBTQ plus rights, mental health, well, maybe we could create a more accepting and loving society that, holds equal space for everyone.
Yes.
It sounds so simple, right? It really sounds so simple that like, hey, men, women, no matter how you identify, let's start speaking about these issues that affect the people that we love. Yet people aren't willing to do it. They're scared that their bro is gonna tell them, yo, that's so gay for saying that, bro. No, for years people questioned my sexuality. For years people say, yo, that's so feminine of you to say that. And I'm just like, I don't care what you think. I know that I'm able to, pioneer and try to create a more equal world for other people. And it's okay if I give back some of my privileges as a white cisgender heterosexual man in order to do that. And I think that's strong. I don't think that's weak.
Yes, it is 100%. Mic drop. Yeah, no, that was awesome. I loved that speech. So, okay.
That might be one we could take from the archives of these videos we're filming.
Yes, that's for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we conclude this conversation that I've gotten so much out of?
No, I just think, if you're listening and watching this, just know that you are accepted, you are loved, you are supported. Um, there are good people out there that are fighting the good fight alongside you, and just want you to know that, be proud of who you are. If you don't already follow me on social medias, you could find me at Sander_Jennings across most platforms. And if you're looking to grow your online presence or have a business and you want to work with a value based marketing agency, feel free to check out the links in my social media bios to learn how you can get in contact with me. I really just want to help people, and maybe I can help whoever's listening. And hopefully, I did help whoever's listening by listening.
Yeah, you definitely did. Just by existing and communicating your messages, you are helping people. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you as a person. Please keep creating. I know you will.
I sure will.
Thank you for watching or listening. Please like, share it with a friend, comment. If you're listening on a streaming app, just leave a review. It really helps. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a great day.